Hello, fine curly crew. Welcome back to my healthy hair update video number 2. This is for the second quarter, months of April, technically through August, even though I was supposed to get this to you at the end of July. If you'd like to watch this series in order, I'll go ahead and list the rest of the videos down below in the description box, and I'll try to create a playlist for you. Okay, so for today, we have some very important updates to talk about. The first being the most obvious, I got my hair cut. Hallelujah. It's been a long time coming. I finally got it cut. I did just do an entire video on my haircut, so if you'd like to see it, be sure to check down in the description box for that link as well. I'll talk about it briefly again today because there have been some changes to my curly hair routine due to the fact that I have a new haircut and certain products just aren't working for me anymore. So we'll go over that briefly in today's video. I'm also going to give you updates on some of the products that I've been talking about over the last few months. I know I told you I would update you on the CurlSmith styling products, the Main Choice Ancient Egyptian line, and the Mielle Rosemary Mint Strengthening Hair and Scalp Oil. That's what I've been using for my edges, so we'll go over that as well. But that's not even the most exciting news. The most exciting news, I think, is that I went to visit my dermatologist and we talked all about my hair loss and scalp. I got more blood work and I have the results. So stay tuned, grab a beverage, and let's get into it. All right, so let's briefly talk about my haircut. It's actually been a couple months since I've had it. The video that you just saw last week was actually filmed a couple months ago, and I just got it out to you all now. So yeah, I'll give you a little side-by-side comparison here because I do feel like I have a little bit of growth since then, which is really nice to see. Some of the issues I was having prior to this haircut included excessive shedding, breakage, matted hair, and I was having to use so much of my product to keep it moisturized. The great news is that my shedding is greatly reduced, it detangles easier, and I'm using a lot less product. Like, less is more for me now. Obviously, having the shorter haircut is helping me not use as much product, but also my hair is just retaining moisture so much better. I remember prior to having my haircut that I had to use a lot of lotion style leave-in conditioners just to get my hair to feel more moisturized. Curl creams, I was using a lot more curl creams. I was just heavier handed with my products and using multiple products. Now I feel like it's optional. If I want to use a lotion style leave-in, I can use a spray style leave-in and it feels like it's still moisturized enough. Mousses, gels, and just more lightweight curl creams are working really good for my hair, and that just tells you that I was dealing with some super dry hair. As far as my nighttime routine goes, I've had to make some adjustments again. I think the last video, the last healthy hair video I did, I was still using my satin bonnet, which I loved, but I'm not using it anymore, and I'm going to get into it in a minute. I am using a satin pillowcase and just wearing my hair in a pineapple at night. Ugh. Okay, so I swore off satin bonnets a long time ago, and I have a video about it too somewhere in these archives. The reason why I swore it off before was because I would wear the satin bonnet to bed, and then if I had nowhere to go the next day, I would wear it all day long. So I assumed that the band on the satin bonnet was just suffocating my edges and causing the hair loss. It was just getting really thin. So I figured that's why. I just wore it all day, all night, no air to my scalp. And I thought this time around, I'm going to get a better quality satin. And also, I'm just not going to wear it throughout the day. I'm going to make sure I take off my bonnet in the morning and I will not wear it throughout the day. So I kind of thought like I just wore it too long before. But this time around, I noticed the same thing. Like, it just started to look a little thin around here again. And another thing was, this thing is really thick. It's double lined satin, great quality, but because it's getting hot outside, I just felt like it was a sauna in there. It just felt so hot when I took this off in the morning, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe my scalp just needs to breathe. I just decided it's not going to work out for me right now. I don't know. I think my edges are just too fragile. I should have learned my lesson the first time, but I didn't, and I thought this time would be different, and it wasn't. So I think I just have to stick with maybe more loose fitting scarves or a satin pillowcase like I mentioned. Okay, real quick, I want to talk about some of these products that I was using prior to my haircut the last couple of months. The first two I want to talk about are the CurlSmith styling products that I had from the transition kit they sent me. This was the In Shower Style Fixer and the Hold Me Softly Style Balm. I still think these are great products. I think when I use them together, they looked really, really nice. I love my results. I think the problem I was really unsure about was the In Shower Style Fixer, which is like a gel. They say to use it on soaking wet hair, so I did that. I used it with the cream, without the cream, on soaking wet hair, and like with other products, just tried to see what combination I liked best. It says it's a stronghold gel. I used it on soaking wet hair, and I also used it on damp hair, and I just didn't feel like it was a stronghold gel. Like on day 2, my hair, it wasn't as defined, and I just didn't have enough hold. So I think together, or even separate, they're great. They give you like a lot of moisture and a lot of shine and all that, but I didn't feel like I had the hold that I really wanted with these two. So I'll try them. I'll continue to use them, and I would buy them again. I just wouldn't count on the In Shower Style Fixer as a like really strong gel. Then we're gonna move on to the Main Choice Ancient Egyptian line. This has continued to impress me. I didn't really get through the entire shampoo bottle because it's shampoo, hello. The conditioner I definitely got like more than halfway through. I almost finished the split end treatment serum, and this mask I'm still working on, but oh, these 3 were my favorite. So the shampoo was super moisturizing. It had so much slip for a shampoo, and I just really liked it. So I will continue to use this. I would buy it again, definitely. The deep conditioner was just, it's definitely in like, it might be in like my top 3 favorite deep conditioners that I've ever tried. And I feel like I keep adjusting my list because I try so many great products, but this one really, really impressed me. So much slip, makes your hair feel like super soft afterward, and I loved all the ingredients and everything. The split end treatment was also another favorite of mine. I got this first before I tried the rest of the line because I wanted something for my ends prior to my haircut. My ends were in such bad shape, or at least I thought they were. My hairdresser told me they weren't as bad as I thought they were, but you know, I wanted something that wasn't going to weigh down my ends. You know, with fine curls, you just want something that's not going to make it look stringy and like greasy. This did not give me that at all. I still had volume after I used this. So I don't really use it at the moment because I don't feel like I need to, but I'm going to hold on to it because, you know, who knows how long it's going to be before I get my haircut again. These were my 3 favorites from that line: the shampoo, the deep conditioner, and the treatment serum. The last product I kind of wanted to go over was the Mielle Rosemary Mint Scalp and Hair Strengthening Oil. I was using this for my edges, and you can also use it for like a hot oil treatment, but I was using it in conjunction with my Tazam head massager. This thing is amazing. It's like you turn it on, you can hear it vibrating, and oh, it feels so good, especially if you have a headache or a migraine. Oh my gosh, like my husband tries to steal it from me. My kids try to steal it from me. Anyway, I've been using this oil to help with maybe growing the edges back a little bit. I feel like it's helping a little bit. These areas were kind of troublesome over the last couple of months, and this was really helping. I was using the Main Choice multivitamin scalp oil, nourishing scalp oil. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I didn't feel like I was really seeing the results I wanted, but this one was really good. It is a little bit heavier though. So what I've been doing is using it every other day as opposed to every day, especially with the new haircut. I just feel like it gets way down really quick. So I continue to do my scalp massages every night, but just use the oils every other night. Okay, so now the exciting update from the dermatologist. I try to go to the dermatologist every year to get my moles checked, just to check out my skin and everything. Sometimes I'm a little behind on that, but I hadn't been in a little while. So I thought this time around I actually remembered to ask about like my hair loss and just to see what was going on there, if they could give me any advice or like any ideas or a diagnosis of what is going on with my hair. But before I get into that, let me give you newbies a little backstory, because I know not all of you know my story here. I've had traction alopecia for at least 15 years, all right? I was wearing a sew and weave for 8 years straight. I would take it down once a month just to do a new install. And, you know, like there was no break in between. I was so like ashamed of my hair because I had so much breakage from relaxer and bleach and all that stuff. It was just breaking off. I thought in my head it was a great idea to just like braid it all up and put a weave in to let the hair grow out again. The thing is, I left out this area here, like a little horseshoe area here, this area right here, and then a little bit down there, just so it would blend with the weave so that I could put my hair in a ponytail when I wanted to. I didn't want the weave to be like right here and I wasn't wearing bangs or anything. So this is just what made sense to me at the time. And by doing that, because I was wearing a straight weave, I was constantly straightening the little hair that was left out. I was coloring it, I was bleaching it. If like I had highlights on my weave, I had highlights on my real hair too. So that whole area was getting exposed to like elements and heat and all kinds of damage. And on top of that, I am working with lower density hair. My hair strands are really fine too. So just this high tension hairstyle on top of breakage that was kind of growing out and then adding more heat damage. It was a mess, okay? That's the backstory on that. With that being said, when I finally decided to let go of the weave and just be natural, I was like in shock because it was like so, like it felt bald here. And like, it just, like the hair texture was super different up here. It was like straight and then the rest of my hair was curly. So that was a whole nother process of growing out I had to go through. And as long as I'm consistent with my scalp massages, stress management, and low tension hairstyles, these areas grow in really nice, but they get triggered also really easy. Okay, so I didn't really need a diagnosis from the dermatologist that I had traction alopecia. She confirmed it, which was good, but I needed to know more. So we did a scalp examination and she asked me a bunch of questions. She asked about the history of like my family, like does anybody there have hair loss issues? And you know what? My family does have a few hair loss issues, not really on my dad's side, but on my mom's side. She has type 4 hair, but it is a little bit more low density and she does deal with some of the like thinning around the areas here. And just overall, she's getting older. So, you know, she's got thinning hair. One of my siblings also has a little bit of a receding hairline. So I feel like this is something that is in my genes at this point. We also had to factor in that I just had 2 kids back to back. I have a 3-year-old and a 19-month-old. One of my main concerns with the hair loss was just that I feel like after 19 months with my youngest, I felt like my hair should have maybe bounced back by now. I thought maybe it was just the haircut, but I feel like it is a little bit thinner just in general, and I really wanted to know what was going on there. So after I answered all these questions and she finished the exam, she told me that not only are you thinning around this area, but also around the crown, which is a little bit more, like I already knew, like this little area right here was from, you know, the weave, but then like she's like, oh no, all of this. I'm like, oh. I never look at the top of my head, so it's been like out of sight, out of mind. Let me see what happens. Let me see if I can notice it on the camera now. I never show you all the top of my head because I've been picking it out and everything. It may not look as thin as when she was looking at it, but she did say compared to the rest of my my hair, it's like it's pretty thin in these areas here, and it matches more or less what I'm seeing, what she's seeing over here. So it does make a lot more sense for me though, because even when I had my bangs and like shorter layers up here, it just always felt so flat and I could never figure it out. And I never even thought to like, let me check out the top of my head. Let me see how thin it is up there. I didn't think about it like that. So it was nice to have, I guess, her tell me that. So ultimately, the diagnosis is that my hair loss is multifactorial. And I'm going to read what she told me because I'm not going to remember this. She said it is androgen alopecia versus telogen effluvium versus traction alopecia. That's a lot. So for those of you that are not familiar with androgen alopecia, it is essentially genetic and it affects both men and women. For men, it might be more of a distinct pattern, so like a true bald spot. But for women, it's more of like an overall diffusing of thinness. It can be caused by your hormones or ovarian cyst, birth control pills, pregnancy, and menopause. So, there you go. Now, telogen effluvium, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's when your body goes through something traumatic like childbirth or surgery, or you had an infection, or like extreme stress. Two of those I can say I had: childbirth and extreme stress and malnutrition. And then of course there's traction alopecia, which I already explained or kind of explained to you. It's from wearing, tight, high tension hairstyles, tight braids, things like that. The thing about traction alopecia, it can be reversible if you catch it early, but that's just not the case for me. I was wearing that weave for so long, like 8 years. It was just like, it's damaged. I think it's permanently damaged. The one thing that I totally forgot to talk to her about, and I remembered as soon as I left, of course, was my texture changes. I was still not sure if I was experiencing any texture changes from any chemicals that may have been in any of my previous products. So I don't have an answer for that one yet, and I will have to continue to do my research on that. As far as my blood work goes, I did have some in December of 2019, and it hasn't even been a year yet, so those results are still okay for now. My internal medicine doctor told me that, everything looked totally normal, especially my thyroid. I know a lot of you were concerned about that. It's within the normal range, and there was no reason for me to take additional tests for the thyroid. I confirmed that again with my OBGYN and also my dermatologist. I asked them also, like, do you think I should take more tests? I said, well, you know what? Everything looks within normal range. If we saw something that was off within this test, we would have tested you for the other stuff. So it sounds like my hair loss issues are due to my genetics, my hormones, my pregnancies, my past tight hairstyles. I'm not ruling out the chemical damage and all that yet, but I need to do more research. So we're just gonna leave it at that for now. So that's about it for this update. I'd love to hear from all of you now, especially my fine curly crew that is dealing with any form of alopecia. Let me know what methods and products you're using down below in the comments. We can help each other out. I love getting new ideas, and I love getting new product recommendations. So share with the community down below in the comments. If you're new to my fine curly crew, welcome. Please subscribe and like and all the good things there. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you're properly notified of when I post new content. Thanks so much for watching. See you on the next one.